versus 17 in life count with 10 seconds on the clock. Atlanta FaZe look as if they will push that round number 5. Unless Priesta can come up with something magical, something historical. Few players falling. Priesta ends up getting traded out, but Standy's still here. No respawns right now for Rocker, but hey, we've got to put ourselves on pause. 1.5 seconds on the clock. Atlanta FaZe, they've got to push their way in. They've got to dig their way through. Nades, tacticals, utility tossed out. But take a look at this. Take a look at right now from Minnesota, and they do not push on to the point. Rocker, no lives left, and they will hold. They will grab the final bit of progress and walk away with this series.
What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're back with some more Call of Duty League DraftKings betting slates. Today is May the 28th. It's a Saturday, so today we have a 4-game slate on DraftKings, on the DraftKings platform. We're going to be having 4 games, and yesterday's games were pretty sick. If you guys watched the games, you guys know Minnesota Rocker here 3-0'd Atlanta FaZe, which was considered to be the best team in the game for a good amount of time. It was a humongous upset, so whoever had money on Attach, Standy, Havok especially, like I said on my last video at 6,200, they cashed out big, so, pretty cool to see. It was a pretty intense matchup. I just feel like Atlanta FaZe dropped the ball several times there, but really good games yesterday, and I'm assuming today these games are gonna be really good. We have some crazy matchups. Like I said, we have Toronto against London. We have Texas against the New York Subliners. We have the LA Gorillas against Atlanta FaZe, and then we have Boston against the LA Thieves. So we're gonna have 4 matches, all gonna be great, and I'm gonna be going over my personal picks and opinions of the DraftKings slate that is going to happen today. If you like esports, if you like betting on esports, if you like Call of Duty, Halo, Valorant, CSGO, stick around to my channel. All that content's gonna come here in the future soon, and I'm gonna keep you guys updated on things like roster changes and updates coming in the future, trying to diversify the channel, make it a little better every day as we go by. So with that being said, let's take a look at today's matchups. So for the first matchup of the day, we're gonna have the LA Gorillas against the Atlanta FaZe. The odds on this one are at -900 for Atlanta FaZe to win, which is crazy considering they're in a slump right now. I wouldn't say slump, but they gotten a little shaken up. I don't know how quick they can get back on track. LAG is a really good team, but they've been in a slump as well. So I do think FaZe has the upper hand in this situation, but like the video you saw at the beginning of the video, FaZe got smoked yesterday, and they're gonna have to come back quick from that. They're gonna have to clear their minds and just come back with a new mindset for this matchup. The prices reflect that of the odds on this match, because I'm looking at this and Simp is at 10,600. I believe it's a price hike from yesterday. Although I'll give Minnesota props, they have been on a win streak. They have not lost at all in the major 3. So it's okay to get smoked by them, right? But LAG has been in a slump. FaZe can't lose to them. They don't need to get a 3-0, but they just can't lose, right? They gotta pick up their paces again. They gotta get back in shape, get back in form, and I do believe they are gonna win. However, I do think that at 10,600 and 10,400, Celium and Simp are maybe a little bit too expensive considering that they are in a slump. They lost to Texas, they lost to Minnesota. Is it a slump, or is it just because the other teams that they played against are actually better than them right now? Who knows, right? But I don't feel comfortable paying that much money for FaZe members right now. Now, Hugh at 7,800 is a decent value play. In case this does go 5 games, I feel like Hugh has shown that he has the upside, definitely has the upside, to get a lot of kills. However, the last decent game that Hugh had was against Paris, which was, not too great. I mean, yeah, he got 99 kills, but that was against Paris. We all know Paris is the most terrible team in the league, so it's not saying much. Asim at 7,800 as well. Great player. I don't know how many kills he's going to get in this matchup. Doesn't seem like he's going to be able to get too many, considering it's FaZe. They're really good at limiting the kills players get against them in matches. R-Cities at 7,600, I would say would be a good value. If FaZe win, R-Cities is going to have to play a big part of it. That's why I feel like if they do get a 3-0 or a 3-1 or even a 3-2, R-Cities is going to have a lot of kills potentially, and he's going to become a value play at that cheap price. So 7,600 R-Cities I'm attracted to. I would say that Gunless and Slasher in the last 2 positions at 7,400 and 7,200. Not too bad. Obviously, Slasher being the cheapest play of the slate at 7,200. He's gotten some decent fantasy points, but overall, he's not very consistent. Not very consistent across the board. Last couple games he got over 100 fantasy points was against Paris and Toronto. I don't really like that. But it's whatever. I do feel like Atlanta's gonna win 3-1 this matchup. I think maybe LAG sneaks in a search and destroy victory in there, probably the first one, and it just goes to a 3-1. That's going to be my prediction. Atlanta FaZe 3-1. So with that being said, if I had to, pick a couple of players or my most valuable players in this matchup, definitely have to be R-Cities on the FaZe side, and I'd probably, stack him with maybe a BZ just because he's cheap. I don't like seeing him in Sims price right now. I'd say R-Cities, BZ, and on the LAG side, I'd probably go with Asim at 7,800, right? Or Gunless at 7,400. 7,400 is very cheap for Gunless as well. He's shown that he can meet that value very quickly, but then again, they're playing FaZe today, so who knows, right? Gunless, Asim, can't go wrong. But you decide if you want to bet against FaZe today too, and if Gorillas come out on top, you're gonna win big. So with that being said, let's move on to the next match, which is going to be Toronto versus London. So for the next matchup we're gonna have the London Roar Ravens against the Toronto Ultra. As we can see here, the London Royal Ravens have been honestly kind of like in a slump in Major 3 so far. They haven't played as much as everybody else, but they lost to LA Thieves, who themselves are a bad team right now. They only beat Paris, and they lost to Boston. So if anything, I would be siding with the Toronto Ultra team to win overall, because even though they 3-0 Paris, which isn't saying much, they at least beat New York 3-2. They lost a close one to Minnesota 2-3. Obviously, Minnesota is the best team this major so far, or major qualifier so far. And they beat Seattle 3-2. So I'm siding with Toronto here to win this series, just because they've shown that for this specific major, they are doing significantly better, and they're going to be looking to carry that momentum forward after yesterday's win as well. For the pricing here, I do believe that some of these players are in good positions. Bance at 6,600. I mean, I don't think they're gonna get a 3-0, so Bance might not be my favorite pick. just because he doesn't really get too many kills. He doesn't like ever go off unless, you know, they get the 40-point bonus from a sweep. In that case, he becomes an incredible value because he's almost always at 6,000 fantasy points. But other than that, like a candidate that I really always look at when I look at London is Afro, because for some reason, DraftKings does never adequately prices Afro. Afro is a beast, and I know it doesn't really show recently, like as far as the last 3 games, but Afro always produces, and he's really good. He's a really good slayer. At 7,200, he's absolutely the value in this matchup. Just from a contrarian standpoint, if you want to be contrarian and you think that London Royal Ravens is going to actually put up a fight and make it a game 5, he's definitely going to see some value in his name there at 7,200. So Afro is my number one pick on the London Royal Ravens side. I haven't really seen Nasty play too much, or Harry. If we can see here, Nasty gets kills per minute, 22.7. Overall KD, Nasty is negative right now, 0.97. Zero is 1.03 of 1.04, and Harry's 1.03. So I mean, they're all positive, but I just haven't seen them play enough to know how they play and put money down on them, right? And I think they're gonna lose anyways. So I'm just gonna go with the cheapest on the opposite side. Not the cheapest, but the value I see. As for Toronto, any of these players can really, have a good day. I do feel like Cammy at 9,600 is placed in a better position. Cammy's been doing really nice. He got 134 fantasy points last matchup, 65 kills, 49 deaths. And then previous to that, against New York Subliners, he got 101 kills. So I really do feel like Cammy's in a good position here. For Toronto, inside as well, Kleenex. You really can't go wrong right now. They're on a, going up the mountain. So can't really tell what price is good for what player, but I'll tell you that Cammy, 9,600, he can definitely get more than 100 fantasy points again in this matchup, which would make him a valuable play at that price. So I feel that for this matchup, Cammy, Afro, 2 really good plays that gravitates toward. My final prediction is a 3-1 for Toronto Ultra, and as you can see here, I didn't update the lines. As you can see here, Toronto Ultra is favored to win, minus 325. So they're probably going to win, in my opinion. That's just what I feel like. London Royal Ravens still can upset, but that's where I'm sitting at, 3-1. And with that being said, let's go on to the next matchup. So for the last matchup of the day, we have Texas against New York, and we're gonna see Scump face off Crimsix yet again. The 2 goats of COD play against each other. Feels so weird because Crimsix was on my favorite team, Dallas Empire, last season, and now, or earlier this season as well, they got acquired by Optic Texas, merged into 2. So now, now it's crazy because he's not on the team that I usually root for now. I mean, now it's Scump, and Scump was usually on the other side, so my home team is Optic now, naturally being the only Texas team, and I look forward to seeing this matchup just because these guys have a lot of history together, and it's not very frequently that we get to see them play. But New York, they're doing rather decent in stats. If we check out their stats here, let's see where they're at. I do think that they've been doing really good. They lost to Toronto 2-3, but that's okay. I mean, 2-3, it's a close matchup. They beat Paris, they beat Boston. They lost to Atlanta, it's okay. So 2-2 this major qualifier, New York Subliners, but Optic Texas is still the best team in the league. even if the standings don't reflect that. They 3-0'd LAG, they 3-0'd Florida, they beat Atlanta 3-1, and I do believe they will beat Subliners 3-1 or 3-2. I'm inclining more to 3-2, and for that reason, I won't target anybody on the New York Subliner side. That's just me personally. But if I absolutely had to put money on somebody on the New York side, I would say that Paul X at 7,600 is the absolute steal. Either him or Hydra. Now, Kismet has been doing really good, but at 8,600 against Optic, gotta remember they haven't played Optic yet, right? They've only played Atlanta, Boston, Paris, and Toronto. They haven't played Optic, so at those prices, I don't think Hydra and Kismet are gonna do too well. Maybe Hydra, but Paul X is, in a really good position at 7,600. Maybe even go for Hydra if it goes 3-2. But for FaZe, for Optic, anybody is really in play. Scump is at 6,400, which is abominable. If you look at his catalog, his log of DraftKings points, he hasn't had a game under 100 fantasy points only twice, and he's 6,400. I think the guys over at DraftKings who are pricing this are smoking a doobie or something, because Scump should be at least in 7,000s, at least high 7,000s. So I don't know what's up with them. Scump has potential to be captain on your team as well because of his upside. So I don't know what they're doing over there. He's definitely the value play of the whole slate, right? But Scump, Shotzi, Dashy, Proloot, all good plays. I did see that Proloot was kind of expensive. At 10,000, even though he's done really good. I don't know if I'd pay that for him on this matchup necessarily, but I just feel like in a 3-2 scenario, Optic is going to win. I think there's definitely other players at $10,000 that are more valuable than Proloot just because they might get a little bit more upside. Shotzi at 9,200 is always a good pick, but I do think that the value plays here are going to be in Dashy and Scump. Those are going to be the value plays here for this matchup, because Dashy as well hasn't had a game less than 100 fantasy points only twice. So Optic Texas winning 3-2. Those are my predictions. So if you guys like Call of Duty content, if you guys like esports content, esports betting content, if you like the thrill of playing on DraftKings, feel free to, stick around, watch the video, subscribe, like, comment, follow on Discord, on Twitter, and I'd be glad to be in contact with you guys. Going to be uploading more frequently and keeping the train going. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.